This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, Rabotai, as I mentioned to you, I have a very special shiur and message that caught me by surprise. I discovered this on Shabbat. So, as you know, I've been giving a shiur these past few times on a very special sefer that I discovered that I wasn't aware of from Rabbi Rafael Moshe Elbaz. Rabbi Rafael Moshe Elbaz lived in the 1800s and was a close friend of the Abir Yaakov, Rabbi Yaakov Abichsera. He wrote many Sfarim. I'll just give you a little bit of an introduction before I get to the point that I want to get to. Rabbi Rafael Moshe Elbaz was somebody who knew Torah shebichtav, Torah sheba'al peh. He knew the written law, the Kabbalah, song. He used to write piyutim, his history. He had everything. He had everything in him. He was born in Shnat Tafkuf Peh Gimel. That's a little bit less than this. 198 years ago. That's when he was born, and he learned by the great Rabbanim of his time. His father, Rabbi Amram Elbaz, Rabbi Amor Abidbol. These were great Chachamim from the city of Sofro at that time. He also learned from Chachamim from Fez, Rabbi Shlomo Ben Sur, Rabbi Avner Tzarfati, Matitya Berdugo, Rabbi Vidal Tzarfati, Rabbi Avram Amar. These are Chachamim from Fez and Meknes as well. He's a great Chachamim in those times. Those of you who have ever heard of these names, they were the lions. And throughout his lifetime, he tried very hard in many tikkunim, in many areas. He never had children. Rabbi Yaakov Abichsera had tremendous respect for Rabbi Rafael Moshe Elbaz, and he used to visit him. And even though Rabbi Rafael Moshe Elbaz was 20 years younger than him, Nevertheless, Rabbi Yaakov comforted him and told him, "Don't worry. Although you don't have children," this is what Rabbi Yaakov told him, "you have many Sfarim and books that you wrote," because he wrote over 20 Sfarim, Rabbi Rafael Moshe Elbaz, and those Sfarim are your children. He wrote Sfarim called Halacha Moshe, very important halachic sefer, and other small Sfarim. Some were already printed and some were never printed. It says that actually when Rabbi Yaakov wanted to go to Eretz Yisrael to make Aliyah, he never made it there. We know that he's buried in Dimanhut. He was going to print the sefer called Magalit Tzedek. That's one of the Sfarim of Rabbi Yaakov Abichsera. We have it over here. And he wanted Haskamot from the Chachamim of Yerushalayim and Tiveria. And one Chacham from Morocco he wanted the Haskama from, and he told his children, "I want it specifically from Rabbi Rafael Moshe Elbaz." And that's just to understand who he was. So here he is, the Sefer Arba Shomrim that we're learning about Tikkun Abrit. Now this Sefer, just to be clear, was printed in much later, in the maybe 1930, 1940. I'm not exactly sure. It could be even be 1950. It was printed in the city of Fez. There was a printing press. You'll see why it's important for me. I'm telling this to you. A printing press from Misod Sharbit and Amram Chazan. Now, who put out this sefer? Somebody called Rabbi Shemuel Harosh from the city of Sofro in Morocco. This is the original sefer over here. It's an old sefer, and this is the sefer that he brought down. And one of the Shmirot is Shmirat Abrit. Now, as I was leafing through the Sefer, I discovered something unbelievable. Sometimes a Sefer, it has like an empty page at the end. And chaval to just print the empty page. You have to print it because of the printing press, because you started the page, but you want to finish it. So sometimes people, they add on different things to make sure that the sefer is complete, and over here is a little bit different. Somebody added on a hashmata, something that he felt was important that should be added on. And this is what he writes: Od matzati tikun nifla shenishmat mitachat yad hamechaber. I found a tremendous tikkun that the Mechaber didn't speak about. And for its great sigula, I want to publicize it that everybody should have it. Kesef metukan takanat shavim lashovivim, for those who want to do teshuvah. And he's talking about especially the sin of tikkun hakeri. Imiyot ki kvar hotzati bekontrasiya katan kippur katan. I already printed this in my sefer called Kippur Katan. Ukdei shelo yichaser shum tikkun besefer kadosh hazeh, but so that this sefer should be complete. Lo nitzarech el ha'adafa ahava besofa. I'm going to print what's written in the sefer Sama Dechaye. Sama Dechaye, written by Kadvut Talmidei Ki Moreno Rav Tzion Mordechai Chazan. That all of his life, this tzaddik was mitzta'er to reveal this tikkun, but he was afraid that maybe he's going to get harmed by revealing this tikkun until the time of his death. So I'm going to tell you, after many tzaddikim and Geonei Olam wanted to really understand this, Ksatam lo yadu klal, ksatam itchilu liday inyan tikkun, and they left this world. I found how to finally be metaken this tikkun. And what is this tremendous tikkun that he has found? Asara mizmorim, 10 pirkei tehilim that are chidush gadol me'od, and it's a great tikkun. Unfortunate is the one who is bizahir to go to the mikveh and then to say these 10 mizmorim bekavana, because they are a great tikkun. And to be careful. And now you don't have to be afraid of this tikkun, even though some people tried to do it. But this is a tremendous tikkun. And then he tells you how to do it in Arabic. Ya'amul had the tikkun that in hor dafka, you should dafka do it. Avi will translate it better than me, that when you get up in the morning, you should go to tefillah, and then you should say, Ribono shel olam, I did this, I asiti zot shelo b'kavana, whatever tikkun hakeri, whatever wasted seed I had was without kavana, it was only bad machshavot, therefore yiratzon, erase everything in this avon. You should know, in tikkun habrit, there is tikkunim that a person has to do of ta'aniyot and sigufim, sufferings, and here he reads Asara Mizmorim after he goes to mikveh and he's pure. It has tremendous power. And then he writes the tikkun Harei Mizamen Pi Leodot Le'alel Shabeach L'Shem Yichud Kudsha B'Richu, and he writes the 10 mizmorim. And I'll tell you the mizmorim. Mizmor Michtam LeDavid of the Mizmor Tet Zayin. Mizmor Lamed Be LeDavid Maskil. Mizmor Mem Aleph Lamnatzeach Mizmor. Mizmor Mem Bet Lamnatzeach Maskil. Lamnatzeach Nun Tet Lamnatzeach Al Tashchi. מזמור עין זן למנצח ידיתון, למנצח צדי תפילה למשה, למנצח קון הוד יהודו להשם, למנצח קוף למנצחין על נאורות בבל, קוף נון הללויה. What is this? This is Tikkun Haklali. I looked it up afterwards. But we had a Tikkun Haklali in the shul. I looked it up. It's exactly Tikkun Haklali. It's like, what? Here you have in Morocco early that they're telling you, here you got to do Tikkun Haklali. But he doesn't mention Rabbi Nachman once. I said, that can't be. They have the same Tikkun. It's like, it's something going on. So last night I looked up the Sefer Sama Dechaye. It was written by somebody called Rabbi Eliyahu Ma'aravi. I think he was originally Syrian, but he printed it in the neighborhood of Shchunat HaBukharim. All of you know Shchunat HaBukharim next to Geula. It's the original Sephardic hood, we'll call it. And there he prints a Sefer of also a lot of Tikkunim, Tikkun Habrit. And I found that he writes over there, in the name of Rabbi Nachman Mibreslev, Likutei Moharan, about this great Tikkun Haklali. So really what this Mechaber is bringing down, he's bringing the Tikkun Haklali of Rabbi Nachman Mibreslev. He just doesn't mention the name. He writes Rav Tzion Mordechai Chazan, who was really quoting Rabbi Nachman Mibreslev. And Rabbi Nachman writes the great power of Tikkun Haklali, that I'm saying these Asara Mizmorim, that it's Tehillim is the same amount of letters in the word Lilit, which is the negative angel that the Arizal says that she takes any tipa that was to waste and she becomes pregnant from it, and bad spirits come out of it. and the otiyot of Tehillim is Taf Pei Hey, and that's 2 times the gematria Elohim. When you fill up the name Elohim, and there's a certain way how to fill up that gematria, and every tipa is Chesed and Din, and with Chamimut and Lechut. He writes a whole arichut, Rabbi Nachman Mibreslav, about how Tikkun Haklali has so much power that to say dafka these asara mizmorim. I was just amazed, because as we know, in our generation, many people started saying Tikkun Haklali, and many Sfaradim in particular, and Moroccans in particular, they go to Rabbi Nachman and they say Tikkun Haklali, and they say these Tehillim, and they're careful. And I found it a tremendous chidush that already 100 years ago, less than 100 years ago, brought down in this sefer that we got, right, Adam? He actually writes to do this tikkun. It's not a chidush in our generation. It was a chidush much beforehand. And he tells you the instructions in Arabic, how you go about it. And then you do Ribono Shel Olam, and then you say Lechu Niranena La Hashem. And then afterwards you should say these are Asara Mizmorim, and you end it off with Mi Yiten Mitzion Yeshuat Yisrael. So and Chadash Tachat Hashemesh, I thought that it was an amazing discovery in the Sefer Arba Shomrim of Rabbi Rafael Moshe Elbaz. Chazak Baruch.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.